It is December 5th of 2023, and welcome back to another episode of Dennis and the Doc. Alongside Mr. Dennis Thamanos, I am Dr. Chim Richolds. The Jays are coming off a 2-0 weekend, 2 road victories, neither of them quad 1, but we'll take it for now. Mr. Dennis, how's the feeling? They're 76.
Okay, yeah. Sure, okay, yeah. Well, it probably will be.
It will be, yeah.
Maybe. Feel good. Took care of business and then some. Yeah, I feel good. I don't think either of those teams are great. I think Nebraska, the 7-0 start is pretty clearly paper tiger.
Yeah.
But yeah, feel good. You went into the road twice, did what you're supposed to do. Look at Marquette. To be clear, Wisconsin's a lot better than Nebraska, but look at Marquette. In-state rivalry games on the road they're tough to win. So.
Yep, never gimmies. We'll talk briefly about the Oklahoma State game because honestly, not too much to report about it.
No, I kind of started playing 2K during the second half.
Yeah, you wouldn't be blamed for it. It was just kind of a comfortable lead most of the way. Mm-hmm. Never quite stretched it out far enough to put them away. Never in any danger, though, either in the second half.
The final 10 minutes of the first half, you outscored them 24-9.
Yep.
That was the difference. It was a pretty even game outside of that. But
yep, and we'll take that. Ashworth looked great in that one.
Yeah, he did.
Found his form. Shooting the ball, was not afraid to go in there and get his shots up, which I think is something we will continue to look at going forward. So yeah, that Oklahoma State team looked better now that they were healthy, but still I don't think anything to worry about in the Big 12.
No, I'd say 12th, 13th.
Yeah, that's probably
above West Virginia and maybe UCF and Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'll give them 11th. I think they finished better than those 3. That's probably it, though. Either way, that one might get to be a quad 1 just on playing all those Big 12 teams will probably prop their number up a little bit.
Yeah.
You pick off any one of the ranked teams and you'll probably get a nice boost. So that's good for us. We'll get to Nebraska, though. And we'll talk a little bit about everything besides the game first because Mr. Dennis and I did decide to make the trip down to Huskerville. Yeah. It was an interesting experience. It snowed like crazy down there for those of you who weren't there.
Probably the biggest snowflakes I've ever seen walking out of that stadium.
Yeah, that was something.
A little scary driving.
Yeah. And I think you'd be forgiven if you don't know what we're talking about because it didn't make its way to Omaha at all.
Yeah.
About halfway back on the drive, it was just dry all of a sudden. So, nice little snow globe effect coming out of there. So we made it down to Lincoln, and the first sign I think that this was not their day. We're sitting at a pizza joint before the game, and we're kind of looking at the menu. And we're like, do we get a small or a medium to splits? The sizes weren't super well defined on the menu. And this guy next to us, Husker fan, nice enough guy, kind of unprompted. He's like, well, me and a buddy come here. We usually can finish a small, but with the 2 of us.
Yeah.
And we kind of looked at each other like, what is he talking about? He's like, we're going to barely finish a small, the 2 of us? Because the first thing Mr. Dennis said, he's like, let's get a large. And I'm like, that's maybe too big. We ended up deciding on a medium. It gets put down in front of us, and let's just say I don't think either of us were concerned.
It was like a 14-inch, moderately styled crust pizza.
Right, not super thick. No, just one ingredient.
It's cheese, pepperoni.
Yeah, and this guy looks over again, and he's like, I don't know if you guys are going to finish that. And at that point...
when he said, I don't think you guys are going to finish that, I was like, I will throw up 3 times in the bathroom if I need to finish this pizza.
It became personal.
Yeah, it was
with
personal,
me. But it wasn't even close. There was a lot of, Parmesan on it.
It was a nice little metaphor for how the day would go. It would be some Husker doubt on what the Omaha boys were capable of, only for it to be not even a sweat broken.
Well, we're sitting, and the people on our other side, too. I couldn't believe how much was going on. They got each, a little personal pizza for each of them.
Yeah, it was a 10-inch pizza. And, the woman finished half of hers, which, all right, standards.
Sure.
To be expected. But the guy,
The guy finished about a piece and a half, and then he
Yeah.
turns to her and says, "What have we gotten ourselves into?"
Yeah, I don't.
If that wasn't, if that's not a metaphor for this
Yeah.
game, I don't know what was. Your eyes were bigger than your stomach, Lincoln. You
Yeah.
bit off more than you could chew, and the Creighton Blue Jays stuffed it down your throat. But yeah, we finished that pizza.
Easy.
Made sure he knew about it.
Yeah, we did in record time. I almost ordered a second one out of spite.
we were prepared. If there was more time, we honestly
Yeah.
would have considered ordering more food, I think.
Yeah.
And then of all things, there was a Hamas protest down, like across the street from the
Yeah.
game. People are walking in and just not paying any attention to it whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. I think might not have picked your best place to do that.
Yeah, if they liked a group of people coming down and absolutely murdering locals, I think they would have enjoyed the basketball game. But
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. A lot of kids at that too, which I
Yeah.
commented at the time. I'm like, that's pretty sick.
yeah, I'm
It's
sure
kinda-
they'll grow up to be a normal individual.
Yeah, they'll be very well adjusted.
Should we come out as an anti-Hamas podcast?
I think that's safe.
Yeah.
I think that's safe to do.
Bye guys, for guys, just not guys in Hamas.
It was a late arriving crowd though, and that
Yeah.
didn't seem to be the reason. Everyone was making a
No.
big deal that there was like students lined up. It was
Yeah.
not like I've seen bigger lines at the CHI for like Wednesday night games against Butler.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't crazy.
It's the crowd you get excited about if you don't know what an actual crowd looks like.
Yeah, like and we'll talk about this more throughout the game. Like I would be way more worried about a game at Gamble than that.
Yeah, I didn't think it was really loud at all.
No, I think there was one moment in the game where it got loud, and it was the Tominaga and one.
Yeah.
The next loudest, though, was all ref stuff. So
Yeah.
if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about Husker fans, then I
Yeah.
don't know what will. Yeah, it was like a fucking library before the game, and I mean, like
Yeah.
I don't know, he was going to be making noise during shoot around, but it was not an intimidating atmosphere.
No.
The introductions also were
Yeah.
just awful.
Yeah, I pre-tweeted. I just assumed they'd come out serious. I pre-tweeted like, "Haha, Nebraska stole Creighton's intro song, hoping to get a couple bites," and they didn't.
No, they don't even use it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
So like, do we get to talk about that? Like, no.
Did we cuck their song?
I was like, do we just have it now?
Yeah,
Have they ever
it's-
used it? Honestly, I don't know the answer.
Can you imagine
to
the
that.
football team comes out to Power Week 1 next year? Support Hamas, where's the line?
But yeah, I'm like,
Where's-
I guess I'm too hard on our arena entertainment because that was an awful display.
Yeah, and it was. To be fair, it would only get worse.
It only got worse.
Touch
We'll
on.
get
Yeah.
we'll get to that. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, like the place where Bryce Matthews pulled up like holding his groin or something in the first half. He's like on the sideline hurt, and they cue up Hell's Bells
Yeah.
while everyone's like dead silent.
Yeah.
Like, all right, that's probably
Yeah.
that's probably not what you want to do. They burned Enter Sandman at like the under 16.
Yeah. That's,
It was a bad production. And we'll start talking about it because we were in a very pro Husker section. I don't
Yep.
think we had any support where we were at. And oh boy, they were not happy with us at the start of that game, were they?
No. Yeah. I mean, it was. Yeah. I mean, right away when the guy comes in, he's like, "Hey, Creighton guys, you're in our seats." Like, fuck off.
Like, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
sorry.
I'm not gonna sit right on top of the people
Yeah.
next to us for 20 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say something, like, as we get into the game. I wish so badly Nebraska could have won that game. I wish it could have been close. For a fan base as tortured as they are, like, after going 5-2 in football, or was it 5-3? 5-3.
5-3,
Seeing your first bowl game in 6 years in your grasp and losing this. Like, I wanted that for them. Like,
Oh, it would've
if
been
I
so
could go
nice.
back and change the result of that game to a loss, I could.
Oh, yeah.
I would do it in an instant. If I could give that game to Nebraska so that their tortured fan base could have an ounce of hope. And again, think of how nervous they must be. All they have is volleyball. And I get the game didn't mean a ton, but to watch Wisconsin, who's been the thorn in your side the last decade, foil your undefeated regular season by sweeping you out of the building. And now you again adding this on top of it. Like, I wish they could have had this game. I wish the refs wouldn't have made a 30-point difference. I wish, and if they didn't have this game, I wish it could have been close.
Yeah.
I would do anything in my power to change this result to a Nebraska win. But I can't do that, so I'll accept beating their ass by 30 points.
You know, like, it gets to the point every football season where, like, I almost feel bad for them. Like, really, I'm like, am I just being too hard because a couple of them are brainless on Twitter? And then we went and saw them in person. I'm like, no, I'm not being hard enough on them.
Yeah.
Compounded with the fact that the genius Todd Cooper at Omaha World Herald, who I hadn't even heard of before this game, decides that this was the time to fire off a thread about, Creighton fans have historically not known anything about basketball. And he's worried about Husker fans becoming that. Where the fuck have you been?
That was like the weirdest fan fiction. Like that was like I feel like he got himself off writing that. Like it was like fan fiction. Like
it was strange.
It was really weird.
And again, we had him comparing us to the Duke of the Midwest, and we had Jack Mitchell slowly devolving into like a string of spaghetti, calling us the Alabama of basketball.
Yeah.
So between that, like, I don't know what you're talking about. Every whistle was a travesty.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen before.
Or non-whistle.
Right. Yeah, no kidding. But his whole thing was based on like, I sat with Creighton fans and they thought every traveling call was the end of the world. I'm like, boy, you have never heard so many people say the word traveling as you did in that building in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
And I want to say, like, I wish the refs called a fair game. Like, I wish free throws were even. Like, I wish Nebraska didn't get to shoot so many more free throws than we did.
Right. Like, I mean, we even, like, they gave us, they tried to even it up, right?
We got 5 at the end of the half. Like, if they said it was 8 on 5, were it not for you bonehead jumping into a 3-point shooter with 0.2 seconds left 33 feet away and then getting a technical foul, free throws I think would have been 11-5, right? I think it ended 11-10.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think it would have been 11-5. So you would have shot more than double the free throws, and you were claiming it was 8 on 5.
Or no, I'm sorry. Ashworth shot 5. We had 8 other ones, so we finished with 13 free throws.
Did we? For the game or the first half?
The game.
I'm talking first half.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I think at halftime when everyone around us was saying 8 on 5, I think at that point it was still 11-10, and 5 of those were entirely your own fault.
And fouls were 7-5 against us.
Yeah.
Like we had.
They were 7-7. I feel confident.
It was 7-5 when they started chirping.
So it's probably 7-5, and then they got 2 in the final.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what it is. But that was 7 first half fouls. That was our most first half fouls in a game since last December.
Yeah, and I will, to be fair, like, I will say, like, I thought there were a couple I thought we got away with a travel or 2. I thought there were a couple out of bounds close. Like,
I thought we were +2 on.
I thought we got a friendly whistle, but like the foul at the end of the half, like,
that's a foul.
He jumped. Yeah, like, do I think it's like a cheap play when like the offensive player pump fakes jumps in the guy? Yeah, but like, A, that's always a foul. And B, like, why would you even put yourself in that opportunity? Like,
no need.
That's entirely your fault for getting yourself into that.
Yeah, you're in a completely different state if you go into halftime.
Well, you're going down 8 after Tominaga mouth guarded a 25-footer. Like,
right.
You feel pretty, because what are they going, down 12?
I thought it was 15.
I don't think it's that much.
I don't know. I thought it was 50. I thought it was bad either way, but that gave them a chance.
I thought it was 8 if they don't... Oh, no, you're right, it was 15.
Okay. I thought it was bad either way, but 11, you're still in the game. 15, you're in trouble.
Yeah. And you have momentum. Like, you had a big 3, like, all right, let's build off of it. Instead, just so stupid.
Well, and Hoiberg even said after the game, he's like, it was a foul, it was a technical.
Yeah.
Like, stop talking.
Yeah.
Just stop. Yeah, we probably got a couple more calls than you did, but we won by 30.
And if I could give him back, I would.
Yeah, sure. Like, I would. What difference would it make? It wouldn't. The halftime show. I had that next on my agenda, and it bears discussion.
Yeah.
Because don't get me wrong, it was already like an odd environment because they were all booing the refs as they went off the floor, and here come the superstars.
Yeah.
Here comes Dennis Frogman, which, by the way, is not even. Yeah, that's just not even a pun.
Yeah, that's like 2 letters the same.
Yeah, that's not even a pun. Snail Earnhardt Jr. All right, that one's kind of clever, but when are you ever doing this at a NASCAR event?
Yeah, and then Kevin Durant Eater.
Was that it?
It's Kevin Durant Eater.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So it was basically just 3 presumably 60-year-old men.
Yeah.
They're gonna be a little younger. younger than that. I'll give him
Sure,
40, mid-40s.
Probably shouldn't be spokespeople for Subway anytime soon.
I was going to say, I'm surprised they were allowed on a school campus. In
allegedly.
Large inflatable suits, gyrating slowly is maybe the best way to describe it. Like doing like what you would expect. Imagine your 8th grade like class production or something, the one where they make everyone like have a part in it and they put together like a little dance. That was basically what it looked like.
It impressively hit the sweet spot of being so bad, but like if it was a tick worse, it would have been so bad it was funny.
Right,
but
it
like,
was not.
Like you just kind of sat there like thinking like, you know what, like I didn't think those were fouls in the first half. Like I don't really get what's going on. Like maybe I am blind. Like maybe I really don't know what's going on here. And no, like
it was almost a nice little bonding experience.
Yeah, it was.
You said it at the time. Like, can we all come together and agree?
Yeah,
like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, we had like a 5-minute, like, all right, let's lay down our swords and like, laugh at the superstars.
And it wasn't even like a laugh. It was like a, what are we looking at here?
Yeah, again, it impressively like, I don't say this lightly, it might have been the least funny thing I've ever seen.
It was horrible. And we're not overstating.
And this is someone who I love. Like, Brickleberry is one of my favorite shows of all time. Like, I love stupid comedy. And, like, it somehow wasn't stupid enough to be that, I don't know.
It took itself, like, almost too seriously.
Well, and I said, like, the question I kept posing, like, who is this for?
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine any adult found it funny, but then you had them, like, taking their, like, one of them, like, took their shirts off and did, like, a striptease routine. You're like, so it's not for, like, young kids.
The young kid, the young kids who know, the 5-year-old who knows who Dennis Rodman is.
Yeah, it's exclusively for the 5-year-old whose 2 things he watches in the car, Magic Mike and 95 Bulls highlights.
Yeah, a lot of crossover there. That's your target market.
Yeah, so good for that kid.
Yeah, it was painful.
Yeah.
It was painful. And I said, right, like, not the biggest Red Panda fan in the world.
No, you gotta. Well, I'll be on my feet for her next time. If we get Russian Bar, Red Panda, Scooby the dog, like, yeah, I'll clap for them. Normally I'm indifferent, but maybe it's a harder job than I think.
Well, I'm sure, but like, is the job of saying yes, we should do this for our halftime show for our biggest game of the year that hard of a job?
Yeah.
Like, surely you looked up what they do, right?
So fun. Do you remember me saying it looked like a AGT act they'd put as a gag?
Yeah.
So I YouTubed it. They were on AGT, and they fucking loved it.
You're kidding.
It was a slightly different group, but yeah, they got.
Well, I heard we missed Clammy Sosa.
Oh shit!
Who apparently is the big draw. So.
Okay. Well. Fine.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, reverent silence. After that, it was like what everyone collectively was in a state of shock.
Yeah, a few boos, few sympathy cheers, but nothing.
No, and then compounded with the fact that they were basically down 25 in the blink of an eye, and everyone kind of talked before the game, during the game, after the game about what a great environment it was. Am I crazy for saying like I really didn't see it?
Yeah, I didn't think it was really loud at all. Like, I think CHI has been louder than that, and I don't think that's a particularly loud environment.
I think there were points in the Iowa game where it was louder.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, not a great environment. A couple people on TV said it was good, which I don't know. Maybe I want to go and watch it, but
I watched it back. I couldn't.
Did you?
Yeah, you'd hardly know.
Yeah.
And I know that Fox sometimes just has like bad crowd mics. Like there are games we've played where I've been like, oh, it was way louder than that in person. Yeah. Mac mentioned it in his post game presser though with Nick Baugh. He's like, oh yeah, this is the kind of environment you want to get tested. And I'm like, where were you?
Yeah.
You know, like I'm sure at court level you get the students yelling shit at you. Like that's probably a little different. I know he remembers that since the 18-19 game where they really gave him a hard time for all the fuck tugs stuff. I don't know how much you know about that.
Not
Brian
much.
Bowen.
No, I don't know any of it.
We had allegedly paid him to not come to campus, so...
Wait, what?
We were in one of those like recruiting scandals.
Yeah, I remember
kind
that.
of. And one of our coaches got fired for his connections to whoever was actually involved with that.
Yeah.
So of course the lovely geniuses in Lincoln were all over that.
Yeah, I heard a couple people yelling cheaters, and I figured that's what they were referencing to. But
Well, no, look. Okay, so here we'll get to this too. The whole first half, like, oh, it's the Big Ten refs.
Yeah, that was crazy too.
They like multiple people like, oh well, it's Big Ten refs. Like, what do you think they want you to lose this game?
Yeah, that seems like quite a conspiracy to get your own team to lose. Yeah, I don't know.
To maybe miss out on some tournament money. Like what?
Yeah,
what's
anytime
the goal
you can
here?
cost yourself a potential tournament bid, you do that. That's the number one infinite money strategy.
Right, like I'm sure they wouldn't want another team in the top 25 and like getting ratings or anything like that.
Yeah, why would you want that?
Get your matchups flexed to national TV. No, nobody has any interest in that. And I'm sure, like, again, we talked about this during the game. We're like, and we were of course talking loud enough for everyone to hear. I'm like, oh, it's because Nebraska wanted to play football 3 years ago, and like 2 people in the Big Ten offices didn't. So naturally, this is a holdover. They've been holding it against Nebraska for 3 years since then. Kind of sounds stupid when you say it out loud, doesn't it? But no, that is what they actually think was happening. So do you know who Jack Mitchell is? The guy who was tweeting up a storm yesterday?
I didn't before.
I only know that he's, I think, a radio guy, like one of the 1620 Nebraska guys. But yeah, he was like losing his mind last year after they beat us. He is literally, the like, I broke my TV in front of my family, copy pasta. He is that guy. After the Minnesota football game, the week 1 football game for Nebraska this year, he tweeted, I had to apologize to my party guests for the way I behaved after that game. Like, dead serious. This guy is a mental patient. And he was losing his mind at the official. Oh, Hoiberg should walk off the floor. Like, these fucking people don't even believe what they're saying.
Well, did you see his follow-up tweet? He said, if anybody took this other as Creighton being the better team, you're crazy. It's like, wow, why would anyone say that?
Yeah, that's such a weird thing to say. I can't imagine who would be pushing that narrative.
That's a weird conclusion to draw from your tweets.
Yeah. Yeah, he literally is that guy, though.
Oh, that's hilarious. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so now we can talk about the actual game. I think we've got pretty much everything else aside. Nobody took your bait on the way out of the building, though.
About
that we just wanted to see a competitive game.
The second half. Yeah, I was stirring the pot. Yeah, just is it too much if I call the Nebraska ticket office and ask for a refund? Like I feel like I paid for 40 minutes of basketball. It doesn't really feel right when one team quits after 20. That doesn't really seem right. Like
biggest game in program history.
Game in program history. Again, I wish Nebraska could have won. Biggest game in program history. I would have liked to see it for those fans. Like I wish they could have put forth more of an effort. I know how bad it would hurt me if I rooted for, I think, definitively the worst Power 6 basketball program of all time. I finally thought this might be the team that provides me some joy, some happiness. I get up, I spend my hard-earned money, I get my emotions all ready. And again, I was ready to go to war for 40. I feel cheated.
Yeah.
I have 20 minutes of war left in me. Like, I didn't get to. I was ready for war. I gave all I had for 20 minutes. I feel unsatisfied.
Yeah.
And so I can only imagine how a diehard Nebraska fan feels, and it just breaks my heart. Like I would do anything to give them that game. And I can't do it, and it fucking breaks my heart.
We're only men. We're only mortal.
I tried, dude. Between the Florida State calls and this, I'm blocked from Charlie Baker's office.
Oh boy. So now that covered the delusion, we'll get into the domination. The first thing I had on the docket to talk about was the difference, I think, first 16 minutes of Tominaga versus the next 24.
Yep.
Clearly, adjustments were made in the game.
Yeah, we did a great job of taking him away, putting the length of Alexander on him, having, hedging hard. And I'll say, for as great as I thought, and again, credit to McDermott, he made very good adjustments. Hoiberg, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, I don't know.
That was such a bad coached game. Josiah Alec, and I say this again as our resident Mountain West, specifically New Mexico expert, Josiah Alec transferred to Nebraska because he wasn't going to get playing time at New Mexico. And you insisted on putting him out there for 25 minutes. You had nothing you could do on offense because he can't shoot, Mast can't shoot, so you just parked Kalkbrenner in the paint, which then took away any sort of drive, and you had no offense.
Yeah. Well, and what else doesn't not that I thought they were going to get a lot of offensive rebounds in the game, because usually we're pretty good about not allowing that, but when your two biggest guys are shooting from 22 feet, they aren't getting boards either.
Yeah.
So you took yourself out of the game. They went 1 for 12 combined from 3.
Mast and Alec.
Alec was 0 for 5. I think Mast was 1 for 6.
I thought he made 1. I don't remember who. Yeah,
No.
Alec was 0 for 4. Mast was 1 for 5.
That's it? It
Yeah.
felt like a lot more. No, I mean, they took bad threes all game.
Yeah, they shot 2 for 22 from 3, which there is some bad luck there. Like,
Well, what,
Alec,
they make 2 more?
Yeah, exactly. Like, Alec's at 33% shoot. Like, you'd expect him to make 1. Like, Alec or Mast
Is he
like,
really 33%?
That's
Or is that on really limited
Yeah,
attempts?
well, he's not 2 for... Okay, yeah, never mind. No, he's not. He was 5 of 35 at New Mexico last year.
Jesus.
So, I mean, yeah, so he was 2 for 5 coming into this year.
Yeah.
He shot 31%, 22, 35. Yeah, okay, yeah, not a good shooter.
Yeah, so, like, those two, it doesn't matter if they were open or not. Lawrence shooting seemed to be a good thing from us. Wilcher, I think his only 2 attempts were from, like, 26 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Tominaga's were contested.
Yeah.
Like, I think their one good shot was Bryce Williams, maybe? I don't even remember if he had one.
He did not take a 3.
It's hard to remember who actually did any scoring for them, because, my God, they were pathetic on offense.
Yeah, Tominaga had 20, Mast had 9, Gary had 8. Williams was 6, Alec was 6.
A lot of, and I like, I have it in the box score too. They had 4 less turnovers than us, scored 8 more points off turnovers, 4 more points on fast break. That's not usually stuff we let happen.
Yeah.
So I think their set offense generated like 48 points, if that.
Yeah, something like that.
It was brutal, and they had nothing going. They ran that one nice action that got Tominaga open.
Mm-hmm.
Even that was semi-contested. He made it, but then they kind of just stopped doing that and just ran kind of one-on-one ISO ball with, nobody who's going to beat Kalkbrenner off the dribble. So, thanks, Fred.
Yeah, that's like every shot they took in the second half, I was just like, okay, shoot that. Like,
yeah.
Josiah, like, shoot a corner 3. Rinkmast, shoot a top of the corner 3. Wilcher, drive in and try to shoot a layup over Kalkbrenner. Like, sure, go ahead.
You're just not winning with those shots against us.
Yeah, Alec post up Kalkbrenner 10 feet from the hoop. Shocked that didn't work.
Yeah, because, like, I don't know how to say this enough to people. Like, we did not play well in the second half. I shouldn't say we didn't play well. We got a lot of open shots. We missed them all.
Yeah, we did not shoot well. Our defense was very good in the second half.
Our defense was excellent in the second half, I'd go as far to say. Now, they weren't challenging us.
Yeah, again, I don't know why you thought... I've watched... With Alec and Mast out there, I've watched them sit Kalkbrenner in the paint, which clogs up our entire offense. Like, hey, maybe I'd get one of them off the court. But
yeah, well, playing both of them at the same time, what are you thinking?
Yeah,
what are you actually
I know
thinking?
what I'll do. I'll put two big guys who can't shoot and have no back to the basket game.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Yeah, like, what did they bring to the table in that game?
Yeah.
Like, what were they doing? Don't get me wrong, they had a decent defensive scheme for a little while, but we were perfectly okay just passing around their interior, Like, they collapsed on Kalk and did a decent job of that. They weren't letting too much go on the drive. That's fine for us.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
I also say credit to Shireman, very good defense on Mast, which allowed Kalkbrenner to guard Alec and sort of be the rover in the middle of the court and take away so much of the paint.
Yep. I don't know how much different it would have been if we'd left that the other way, but a little bit.
It was, I think, if nothing else, it was a different look. I don't think that's what they prepared for.
No. They looked confused, and Fred did not make any adjustments. I feel like for as bad as the score was, the shot quality had to be worse.
Yeah, I mean, if we shoot... Baylor was... What do you think he was, like 6 for 11 in the first half? He took 19 threes, which is
He was 8 for 22 on the game.
Yeah, he was 8 for 22. I don't know... Because I don't think he made a 3 in the second half,
He did not,
right?
no. He was 0 for 4 in the second half.
His looks,
at least 4.
By and large, were a lot better in the second half.
Yeah.
Like, he hit some tough threes in the first half. He makes a couple... There's absolutely a universe where we win that game by 50.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, their shots were terrible.
Yeah.
Tominaga made a few of them. If we had eliminated some of their turnover fast break,
Well, and even like they had like 2 baskets off a make where we just didn't get back, which was really weird.
Trey pissed me off a little in the second half. He got lazy a couple of times getting back, like after his dunk.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody got back after that one, but
Yeah.
they strolled down and made a layup, right? Like that happened a couple of times, and that can't happen. Not against better teams, anyways. Ashworth looked like the offensive captain, which I think we have seen, but it has not looked more obvious than it did in this game.
Yeah, he had 3 turnovers, but I think 2 of them were like dumb flukes where like he had a ball go through his hands, which like is obviously bad, but I'm not like, it's different than throwing a pass right to the other team where you're like, okay, that's bad decision making. I question your decision making. Like coming off a dribble handoff, trying to pick up the ball and you lose it off your leg out of bounds. Like, okay, fine. Like that'll happen. Like that'll happen to anyone. But yeah, outside of that, very good game, in control, couple big threes, did what he's supposed to do.
Yep, 32 minutes, 13 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, 3 of 7 from 3, 4 of 5 at the free throw line. Yeah, like you're just not going to find too much to complain about when a guy shoots 42% from 3 and largely plays a pretty good game. He did his job on defense. He wasn't getting lost, wasn't leaving guys open. That's all you're going to ask out of him this year.
Yep.
He runs hard on defense. He's in the right spots. He gets taken out with picks a little easier than you'd like, but what can you do? Nemhard had the same problem. So another rough game from Trey, though. Like, at the end of the day, 13 points, 5 boards, 5 assists sounds pretty decent. 6 of 17 from the field does not.
No, yeah, he's put together a few bad games in a row, and I'm kind of worried I broke him.
Referencing one of our previous ones, he got a good number on Trey's National Player of the Year and took it.
Well, no, I tried to.
Went to extreme lengths to try to take it.
Yeah. I guess he was better than I thought against Oklahoma State. I remembered him not being good.
His first half was bad again.
Okay.
That's the thing that keeps happening. He was 1 for 6 from 3. He's now shooting comfortably the worst percentage of our
28.9%.
Yeah.
Which is some regression from 41% last year, which is kind of the scary thing of, like, I think he has a good shot. Like, I think 41% is probably closer to who he is.
Yep.
So if he turns it on and starts shooting not like shit, like, it's another scary thought.
Yeah, I'm not worried yet, especially because the other guys are picking up the slack right now, but we're going to need him.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Baylor, 33 minutes, 24 points, 10 boards, another double-double. 3 assists, 8 of 22 from the field, 6 of 19 from 3. Like, he shot sub 33% from 3.
Yeah.
And Husker fans are like, oh, wow, they just kept making everything. Like, no, you just weren't watching the goddamn game.
Yeah, as a team, we shot 35%, which we're shooting 39.2 after that game. So we were shooting over 40% coming in.
Right. He's made more than 3. He's made 3 or more threes in every game so far, 8 games into the season. That's ridiculous. All 3 of our guard/ball handlers had 3 turnovers. A couple of them were bad. Baylor and Trey each had 1 or 2 bad ones. But yeah, Baylor, he made them when we needed them. The looks he got in the second half were great. Like, it's not a matter of I thought he shot too much.
Yeah.
He was, for some reason, he was the guy that kept getting left open in the scheme.
Yeah.
And I think that was partially because they were playing Mast and Alec at the same time, which, again, baffling. But, yeah, they keep getting sucked into the paint, kick it out, he's wide open.
Yeah, I think he forced a couple in the first half when he was hot, which, whatever, check.
That's fine.
Heat check, whatever.
I didn't think he took a bad shot in the second half.
No, I thought second half, yeah, he was fine.
Mason Miller, only 14 minutes. I think he's still working back a little bit. 6 points, 1 board, 1 assist. He made both of his threes. Yeah, what else are you going to ask, right?
Yeah, he's doing exactly what you ask of him. He's shooting the ball well. I think he's at over 50. Yeah, he's at over 50% from 3, which probably isn't sustainable. But, like, with the looks he's getting, I don't see why he can't shoot 45% this year.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't put it past him.
1 rebound, 1 assist, no turnovers.
Yep.
good job. Did what was asked. Nothing more, nothing less.
Maybe not his greatest like matchup game, I suppose.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, Shireman is a small ball 4. Worked with how he was able to guard Mass.
Yeah. Kalk, quiet is maybe the wrong way to put the game, but he was dominant defensively. Like nothing was going on in the paint. He goes for a double-double with 12 boards, 13 points. That is unusual from him, and I think speaks to how poorly Hoiberg mismanaged this game.
Yeah, and to be fair, he played strong. He has, Mass is only 6'10", and he's not really big. Like, he had a size advantage. He played more aggressive, but yeah.
Yeah, Mass didn't out-jumping anybody.
No,
so
it's not the horizon anymore.
But he was, Kalk had, I think, 4 offensive rebounds and just wide open, uncontested.
He had 5 offensive rebounds.
Yeah. And that was kind of the story of the game, is our boards were not hard fought.
No.
If it was a matter of them trying not to let us get out in transition, I can kind of understand that, but we were doing it on the offensive end too.
Yeah.
So it was them getting so lost in system that they could not find a guy to box out.
Yeah, we had a 38% O board rate, 71% D board.
Yeah, those are the
those are good numbers.
Yeah, that's not a number we usually see.
Yeah.
So, Farabello, real nice shift. 28 minutes, 8 points, 1 board, 3 assists, 2 of 3 from 3, no turnovers, 3 steals.
Yeah, he's played really nice defense, did a good job on Tominaga in the second half. Putting together a really nice year. And again, I know we hated on him a lot, and I think very deservedly so last year.
I'll defend that. I really will.
Yeah, I don't know what you saw last year. Whatever. We're not going to rehash that.
But if you want to say this is the player you could see shades of last season, sure, but it was never
versus Baylor versus Nebraska.
It popped up a couple of times last year. But he's doing it consistently this year, so that's all you can ask.
Which, granted, this is an extremely limited minutes. It shouldn't matter, but he has the 16th highest O rating in the country.
Yeah.
The 26th effective field goal percentage, 24th true shooting percentage.
Yeah, he is currently outpacing Shireman at 3-point rate this year, which was one of our prop questions on our team preview.
Yeah, him and Miller both, Mason Miller 6% possession rate, Farabello 7%. You're not asking him to do anything other than sit on the 3-point line and make the open 3.
Yeah.
When it's past you, Farabello play good defense, Mason get some rebounds, and thus far they've done that extremely well this year.
Yep, and yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves, right? We've played 2.5 games against real opponents. If you count Nebraska, Oklahoma State, and Loyola as a half each.
Colorado State.
Yeah, that's a full. Oh, Iowa.
Yeah.
All right, there's enough there to go.
We've played a few teams. It's not Marquette.
No. Yeah.
I think Farabello against Cam Jones could be an issue, but.
Yeah. Isaac Trot, nice. I keep saying that. He does say Trout. I keep doing this wrong. I just want to say Trot. Only 9 minutes, but he had a nice little impact on the game. 4 points on 2 dunks, which was nice to see.
Yeah.
And for as many big men as we've had over the years, we do not see a guy just power dribble and go up with it very often.
Yeah, that was very nice. How many minutes did you say you played?
9 minutes,
okay.
6 boards.
Okay, I think so. Okay, yeah. Kempo missed 10.
6 boards in 9 or 10 minutes.
Yeah,
which is nice.
Not asked to do much. Did what was asked of you.
Yeah, missed his 2 threes and still managed to make an impact on the game.
Yeah, so good for him. And again, redshirt freshman, seeing his first game minutes, maybe you start to see the game slow down a little bit for him. I'm not sure opening night, that second dunk he had where he pump fake, 1 power dribble dunk, I'm not sure he doesn't try to quickly go up with it off the glass for a layup.
Right. Yeah, composure, it really matters at that age, and he looked a little less like a pylon this game. He had the one in the first half, I think, where somebody dribbled right around him. This was a good matchup for him, though, because he could guard Alec pretty easily without having to do too much. It's going to be about finding matchups for him. He's not guarding Bryce Hopkins. He's just not going to play many minutes when that's the case.
Yeah, he needs another year in the weight room to lose little baby fat, put on muscle, get a little more twitchy, but there's something there.
Yep. Yeah, I'm excited for, like, I don't want to say anything about this year.
Yeah, we've had the talk of, like, obviously we're going to enjoy this ride. Like, this year's team is going to be the best team we have in the foreseeable future. But, like, I think next year's team will have a fun group, assuming people who come back or who you think come back. You pick up a transfer. Like, I think Trout, Miller, King, Dotzler, Green. Like, I think it could be, like, a fun 9 seed, 21-22 type of team.
Yep. You probably grab a point guard out of the portal. You maybe look at your wing options depending on how ready McAndrew is going to be. But yeah, fun possibilities. And Fred King, last one, also 6 boards in 12 minutes, 3 of 4 from the field. He was having a field day on the glass.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because of who he's behind. Like, I do want to see him get more minutes. Like, I wish there was a way to play him more.
Don't say, come on.
What?
You're doing the monkey's paw thing.
Okay, yeah, sure.
don't do
Sure,
that.
yeah.
We're not even gonna say that. I cannot wait to see him next season.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. Yeah, 6 and 6 and 12 minutes and only 1 foul. Good job, Fred King.
Yep.
Good job.
Yep. Rebounding battle. We won it by 11. 14 offensive rebounds. We had 17 assists to their 6. We assisted on 54% of our made field goals.
Checks out.
Yep. 45% from the field, only 35% from 3. Again, I'm already sick of hearing that take. Like,
yeah,
we could have won this game by 50.
Yep.
85% free throws, always nice. Kalk made 5 of 6. He'd been off to a shaky start on that this year. We were -2 in the paint. We were +6 on second chance points.
Which -2 in the paint will just kind of happen naturally when you take 43s.
Right. -4 fast break, -8 points off of turnovers, -4 on turnovers. Like, all uncharacteristic, and if fixed would have only meant even more of a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
We were +2 on the bench, which continues to be a surprising success this season. We will see.
Yeah, it's encouraging, and I really don't think Nebraska's good. I think it was a lot of beat up on bad teams.
I think they are going to struggle to generate offense.
Yeah, I don't think they have any talent on offense outside Tominaga, who is, we want to talk about Ashworth's not 6'1". His ass is not 6'2". Yeah, I mean, you get a team with a long wing that can follow him around like Mast Alec are doing nothing.
Right. He runs, like, he's good at trying to get open and get his shot, but that's why what we did with the little mini hedge, Kalk just sticking a hand out toward him.
Yeah.
Not going to be fast enough to pass what is he going to pass it back to Alec and he's going to rip one off real quick, right? Like, it's just not a threat.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is slow down the catch and shoot or the catch and drive, and he's kind of stuck, right? Like, he'll make some of them, but they're going to be bad looks.
Yeah. Good game.
Good game, good win. We won. Now they're calling it our Super Bowl, so it's just so annoying. Like, this is why I say, like, look at these people who are doing all this now and think, like, just don't be them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when this happens to us, because it just looks so pathetic. We've got a nice little rest here before Central Michigan. I do think it comes at a nice time. Like, yeah, I think we could beat Central Michigan on our worst day, but after 2 road games, you get a week, practice hard.
Who do you think wins, our second 5 or Central Michigan?
Our second 5. I absolutely do.
I think I would agree.
Don't get me wrong, it's probably a game, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Boy, could this be old takes exposed. It's not going to be. I think we're a rocket ship that just kills bad teams. Central Michigan's a really bad team.
We play in a style, I think, that makes it very hard for a bad team to beat us.
Unless we shoot 4 for 40 from 3.
Yeah. I mean, they're 317 in Ken Palm, I think.
Yeah, 314 right now. They have it a 29-point game, which I'll be taking if it's 29, because I think we've showed that we just kill bad teams.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, like, yeah, maybe you're rusty, but that shakes off. You know, like, we will be able to score other ways than 3s in that game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you look on their team page, there's a lot of red.
Yeah. What's the height looking like?
6'2", 6'6", 6'6", 6'10", 6'8". Oh, never mind, not 6'8". That guy's not a starter. 6'6". So honestly, like
A little big.
no one tall guy. Yeah, tall 1 through 4, short 5.
Not that short. I worry more about the teams that have like a 6'8", 5 that can actually pull caulk out of the paint.
Yeah, that's not this.
So no, not too worried about it.
They're bad.
Yeah, we'll maybe do a sort of preview later this week.
Their defense is giving up, or is allowing. Jesus Christ, their defense is allowing an adjusted efficiency of 111.1.
Sure.
KenPom has us at 86 points. I'll take the over.
Yeah. If we don't score more than that, I would be surprised. But yeah, so next on our agenda for later this week, it is already a quarter of the way through the season. Hard to believe, given that it feels like we've just started. But yeah, we'll do a little quarter season review later this week. We'll take a little more in-depth look at Central Michigan, but mostly I think we'll focus on UNLV next week. And next week we'll do a nice big Alabama preview because it will probably be our last in-person pod for quite a while. We'll actually have to figure out another way to do this. Well,
When are you headed back?
This 18th.
Oh, yeah.
So before we might be able to get one more in before Villanova, but
Marquette live show from Milwaukee.
I'll be up there
for our Patreon subscribers.
Yeah, we keep. We're trying, guys. We're trying to figure out how to put this on Apple. It's more convoluted than I want it to be, just because we're, at least for now, trying to remain some kind of anonymity because, Creighton Burner Twitter has a problem with doxing. So, doing the best we can. We'll try to get it up there. For now, we appreciate, way more people than we expected following this.
Yeah.
It's not like a huge crowd, but
it's more than one.
It's more than we thought it was going to be. So these aren't all just us going and re-listening to them, which is surprising. Appreciate those of you who have listened, who have reached out to us. We'll try to do more of this. We'll try to get some guests on here as we get into Big East play. We'll try to figure out better ways to produce these. So thank you guys. Good win. Jays stand at 7-1. We are heading into Central Michigan, UNLV, and Alabama. Thank you for listening. I have been Dr. Chim Richards, alongside Mr. Dennis Thamanos. We will see you next time.